So it's really difficult being a queer kid growing up and keeping that to myself. I was just thinking about the various books that were important to me or reading that I did in certain stages of my life. I remember going to the library as a child, and once I found that book, A Wrinkle in Time, I was captivated and hooked on the library. So I kept going. The other thing I remember during those years was finding the Alfred Hitchcock's mystery magazine. I never missed an issue and always made sure I had enough change left over to pick up the next copy. And I kept reading that throughout my teen years. Growing up in Nebraska didn't seem so odd to me or difficult in my child years. But once I hit my teen years, I started to feel like maybe the fit between Nebraska and me was not the best fit. Really, it's because of being queer. And growing up in Nebraska then, words like gay, lesbian, trans, these were not things that were talked about. It was not part of the normal vocabulary. So it's really difficult being a queer kid growing up and keeping that to myself. What's really ironic is that out of those 7 kids in our family, 4 of them turned out to be queer. Isn't that just crazy? It was something that was simply not talked about until lots of years later. But anyway, once I got into my teens, I really wanted to get my head down and get focused on getting to medical school. So I really hit the books. I tried to study hard and get good grades, but I'll never forget the books I read for fun on the side, like Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance by Robert Persick, or even Cowgirls Get the Blues, or of course, J.D. Salinger, Catcher in the Rye, and the Glass Family Stories. These were really important books for an adolescent of my era. Anyway, let me talk a little bit more about getting to college in my next cut.